A lot of people say, I can't. It's one thing that I hear. No matter like how hard you think the world is falling apart, it's not the apocalypse, it's not like, yes, you can. Hi, I'm Lisa.
I am Frank.
Today, it's all about legacy and trust.
Indeed, it is, Lisa. We have Alan Rivera and Anthony Martinez with us today. They're going to share how education builds financial confidence.
Let's get it going.
And I'm big on talking about finances, numbers, money. We grew up in a world where it was taboo. You didn't talk about that.
Right.
Talk about that. You know what I mean? This is one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make.
And then when my husband passed away, he took care of the finances, he took care of all the accounts. I didn't have any knowledge of like how to even pay a bill. He had all the passwords, everything. And I found myself in a situation where I didn't have access to my accounts or didn't know what we had or didn't have.
I helped his son buy a house.
Aww.
That meant so much more to me than a transaction. You know what I mean? His son's 20 years old. I'm like, you're a good kid. Yeah. You're a good kid. You're working so hard. Like, you have your own house now. I want people to stop renting. You know what I mean? We rented for so long and I can never imagine going back.
Guys, welcome to the Be Encouraged Show. This is Colorado's voice for growth and good. I'm Frank.
I'm Lisa.
And we're so glad to have you here today because Lisa's awesome.
And so is he.
More awesome. Thought I'd throw that in for free, right? Lisa, you get to talk about the hive today. Look at that. You want to talk about the hive?
I mean, we talked about this beforehand. So today's show is sponsored by The Hive, a platform connecting purpose-driven dreamers to the experts who want to champion them. The Hive is where impactful visions are showcased and connected with quality support.
And the owner of the hive is in the joint.
Kylan is here.
Kylan is here. So make sure you guys take those with you.
Oh, yeah. Look.
So be sure to go visit them at the hive.vision.
Yeah. All right. You're still up.
Oh, it's still me. Talking about money, legacy, and trust, not from a sales perspective, but from a people first one.
Woo! A people first perspective. How about that? And we got, my other wife, Adelmarie, here today. Rivera, she is such an incredible lady. We're so glad to have I think Anthony Martinez today. Somebody get excited in this room. So thank you guys for both being here today. We love to start off this show because I think it's important that we get context around who you are. And since you are our host today, our podcast host, we want to ask you, Allie, what is the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome to date up until this point in your life?
So my whole life?
Yeah. Let's start you.
It's actually thing like my kids were little at the time, and I had to figure out like my whole entire life. I was 34 at the time, so he did pretty much everything in the home. I worked. He took care of everything else, from finances to anything in the house while I was working. The kids even. So once he passed, it was kind of hard for me to revamp my life and figure that out. But I made it.
Yeah. 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're 44 then. It's like think quick. You're the only one you get.
And not
Most. Yeah, we're so glad. You're same thing with you, Anthony. And by the way, thanks for coming down from Pueblo, my friend. He's a handsome dude. I thought I'd throw him out there for free. Right. So. Don't want companies today, right? What's been the biggest challenge for you, my friend, today
Um,
in your journey?
transitioning from what I was doing to this business, the first year and a half or so it was it was a big challenge. And that when I first started, rates were just climbing. And so for the first like year and a half, everything was put on my husband. All the stress, financially, everything. And I did everything I could, but that's a lot to deal with. And so learning about leadership, learning about the team that you're behind, learning about really being dedicated, all of that was like right in sight because I didn't have a choice. That was really, really hard to come over. It was one of my biggest challenges to overcome.
Is that you consider that biggest challenge so far in your journey?
On this
That
journey,
transition?
right here.
Oh, you're
yeah.
talking about different
I've had
journeys.
medical journeys. I've had about 4 surgeries in the last year and a half. That was a different challenge. That was more mental, and I had to kind of get it right. You know, that's a lot to take on mentally.
Do you mind us asking what
Well, the last one I had was to fix my hearing. I used to be deaf, and so that was now I can hear. Yeah. That was a big one.
Oh,
30 something years of my life, and I was told it would plateau at like 25. So I mean, I'm in prime, and I just can't hear. I had so much loss in this one, and half my loss in this one. So we started with the worst one. So medically, I've had tons of. I mean, I had my first surgery I had almost a year and a half ago. That one put me down for like 3 months, and it took like 6 months to heal from that one. And so that, you know, and I had 3 of those surgeries.
And
so,
I can tell you're a people person. That's been really
that's hard. It's hard. It's hard to stop, and you have to let your body heal. You know what I mean? You can't push yourself. So that was like a year of just, I want to go to the gym, but I can't.
How
But,
do
you know, I
you
want
handle that? Like,
Oh my gosh. The first surgery was unexpected. It was an ER type of thing. The second surgery, I was really angry, actually. I was really angry with everyone, God, everyone. And so that one taught me a lot of just acceptance. You know, this is our life, and you got to just accept it. And then not just that, you just move through.
How'd you get through the anger?
Yelling. Good husband. I probably wailed on him more than I should have. I have a good support group, so you know my mom's close to me. So I used my support. I was fortunate enough to have therapy in the past, so you know, using a lot of those tools, just everything I could. The third surgery, I was at peace. The third surgery, I was like, let's correct this problem.
I got that.
I want, you know, I'm with professionals now. You guys are all charging me an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Let's get this done. So by the time I went into my ear surgery, that seemed like that the idea of surgery used to scare me. But by the time I went into my ear surgery, I was like, let's do this, knock me out.
So what was it like when you could first hear?
Oh, it was crazy. Oh, it was so crazy. I tried to take my dogs for a walk. It was like a week after, because they tell you take a week off, and the vertigo was on another level. I'd sit up and the whole room's spinning for like a week. So I take my dogs out every day. I've done this a million times, and it's so loud. I'm like covering my ears, running back to my house. So I had to put like cotton balls in my ears. I had to like adjust. But the doctor said, you know, just do it. No cover. No. I said, should I get like those puffs on my ears? Like, stop. I know you gotta let your body adjust to it. I'm like, wow, it's hardcore. So, but it was different. I can hear my air conditioner turn on. I can hear everything. It's wild, but it's different. It's good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that's like a new
It
piece of life, right?
it is.
Oh, right.
Hearing,
Miracle.
yeah. I couldn't. Yeah. I'm very grateful.
We're grateful you can hear.
Me too. Thanks.
You're a bummer.
It was a journey.
Pardon me. I know a lot. You're retired now, and you're a financial advisor, right?
Yes.
And you're focused on legacy and protection for others. So, what experiences shaped your passion for helping families plan intentionality for their future?
So, like I said, my own personal story for once. I always said in a joke around that I've been poor twice. I grew up in a family, back in Puerto Rico, we didn't have much, so I'm grateful for everything that, you can't afford now. My house was probably my parents' house was probably about the size of my living room and my dining room together, and
Wow.
that's including our bedrooms and everything. Um, and then when my husband passed away, like I said, he took care of everything. So he took care of the finances, he took care of all the accounts. Um, I didn't have any knowledge of like how to even pay a bill. He had all the passwords, everything, and I found myself in a situation where I didn't have access to my accounts or didn't know what we had or didn't have anything like that. So that kind of like was an eye opening for me. Like it's not something that only happens to me, it's something that happens to a lot of people. But coming from one that defined who I wanted to work with also, which is the Hispanic community, military community, because for once, everyone thinks that being in the military, you're rich because you get a paycheck, a security pay, okay?
In the military.
Oh, yeah.
They do things there. Yeah. I mean, not families out like
You don't get that education. Like people think that yeah, the military gives resources or whatever, but there's not that education of like now I say even if you're a private E1 and you're coming into the army, start planning that you're gonna be out at some point. Whether it's in 20 years, 30 years, it might be 5 years, you never know.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, and we don't see that. And that was one thing that I saw at that point because I was 15 years in and I was like, what do I do now? Do I get out of the military? Can I afford to get out of the military at this point? I was like, I'm so close to retirement. I want to finish my time, but at the same time, I didn't have anyone to take care of my kids at the time. It was just me, and so on. And then the Hispanic community, like, is big. They teach you like your husband takes care of everything, like, and the woman just takes care of the house. Don't worry about paying the bills or doing whatever. And that's a mentality that I am trying to like, hey, it's a join. It's not only one person because it can happen either way. It can be the wife that goes away and she's the one that take care of things, or even taking care of the kids. It means that I had a friend that actually lost his wife to cancer. And same situation, he was in the military. He actually ended up getting out of the military because his wife was the one that took care of the house, took care of the family, and then he was like, well, who's gonna watch my kids now? And I was like, I'm gonna put all my paycheck into daycare kind of thing. So it was those kind of situations, personal situations, and other people's situations that kind of like brought me into like we need more education, and that's what my approach is. That it's not so much the salesy. Everyone thinks like always about like saving a whole bunch of money, getting rich. It's not about getting rich. It's about being comfortable with your situation and the what if can I afford if something happens to me to shift what I'm doing and take care of my family.
wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love that, Lisa, because really, when outcomes of what your passion comes from, your experiences of life, it just makes it double. You get much more committed
Yeah.
to doing that because you have a love for your community. I know you do, right? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, the new chairman of the board of directors at the Hispanic Chamber as well. So you're back to
Yeah.
Hey, my man, you've shared that you noticed the gap between homeowners and non-homeowners early on.
Oh yeah.
So what led you into lending and why does education play such a big role in how you serve clients today?
Absolutely. So my experience buying a house, my husband is military. He's out, but he was military. So just like she was saying, they don't teach you when you're exiting, how to use the VA benefit, what is the VA benefit. You sit through like one class, 4 hours or something, and they give you all that information. You're done. You're thinking about, I'm getting out. You know what I mean? So yeah, bye. So a lot of my friends, a lot of my family, we have big military family, and they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea that there's this amazing resource that can help them, because let's be honest, real estate is like the best way to get your foot in the game and to start building your families, at least some wealth for the family.
Right.
So I actually had a cleaning business. That's how I met my boss. We were in a networking group together. And my boss, Sergio Perino, London. And so he was with another company. I had my own cleaning business. I had tons of clients. I didn't have the workforce I needed. So every week was turning into a headache of me hiring people. So he says, hey, do some research. Do you want to give us a chance? So I started thinking, that I do speak Spanish. I'm big on my Hispanic community too. And I thought, man, there's such a big gap of people that know how to buy the house, or people that just have been told things by family, have no idea what the first step is. And especially, that's just the community. Now let's take the Hispanic community. This community, they don't even trust banks. You know what I mean? So we have to do like the older, I feel like, some communities than others. So when we were buying our house, I told Sergio, I was like, I'm going to ask you a million questions. I just don't know. And then after that happened, it was serious. It was like, I think I can do this. And I think I can help people doing this, because I can touch a market that nobody's touching right now, like in specifically Colorado. I was in Springs, my husband and I bought in Pueblo, but I've been in Colorado almost 20 years. So it's been on my heart, Colorado. And so I was like, I can help this community. And then I could try to reach other communities as I get bigger. And education is such a big thing, because people are told about 20% down, but they have no idea why. You know what I mean? So I talked to a lot of people in there. Well, my neighbor told me I have to put 20% down. That's not true. You know what I mean? VA, obviously, 0% down. There's so many programs out there that's just the thing of the past.
Yeah.
And they don't know why they're putting 20% down.
Right.
They don't know the reason behind it. So education was really big, because for my boss, education is really big. It's not just this is the answer. It's why is this the answer? Because somebody's going to call you and ask you that question. And you can't just say this is the answer.
Right.
You have to know why it's the answer. And so education was really big. Helping the community was really big. And so when I started doing this, just felt like it could help a lot of people. So that's kind of my own experience. Not, different.
How long were you in
similar.
the cleaning business?
I had it for a couple of years. I had it here in Springs for a couple of years. I was pretty big. I was cleaning them houses. We had a crew.
Yeah.
But the problem is that in Springs I didn't have that. I just didn't have that crew that was real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was COVID.
Yeah.
COVID didn't help at all. So that was navigating.
Then the whole work ethic went down.
Yeah, I've been cleaners that tell me all the time they haven't cooked that, keep it cooked
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
So Anthony, for handling the complex problems, you'd already talked about the lack of trust.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially in your circles that you're doing now. What do you think clients need the most from a lender during a stressful or uncertain transaction?
Oh my gosh, transparency. You couldn't even finish the question and I got transparency. This isn't, and I'm big on talking about finances, numbers, money. We grew up in a world where it was taboo. You didn't talk about that.
Right.
Talk about that. You know what I mean? This is one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make. Know exactly what you're looking at. Not just in how much the rate costs you. You know what I mean? But know everything. I go over the estimate, the closing disclosure, every single one you're going to sign. I go over that with you line by line. And I let you ask me whatever you want, because you've got questions. You know what I mean? If it's your first house or your fifth house, I know things that change every year that you're probably not going to be aware of. Ask me questions, text me questions in the middle of the night. I won't respond, but when I wake up, I'm in my coffee, I'll text you back, And another big one is, accountability. If you don't know the answer to something, don't give somebody a lie.
Yeah.
Let me check that for you. Let me ask my boss and my team.
Yeah.
Let me get a better answer before I just give you some wash answer. You know what I mean? So transparency and accountability are really big for me and my crew. That's our response.
How big is your team?
So Sergio is our branch manager, and we have, I believe there's 5 of us right now, 4 or 5 of us. There's Lindsay, there's Adriana, Brenda's in Hawaii, and Sergio.
Hey.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you limit your reach to Pueblo?
Oh no, I have. Oh no. Yeah, Brendan is in Hawaii, so we.
Oh, that's the one. That's where they live.
Yeah,
I thought it was
there. Yeah, we just went to go visit. Yeah, yeah, that's him. The one. Uh, we were fortunate. We went to do a sponsorship game there. It was big for the school. They give back to a lot of the school there, so we sponsored a whole. Of course, it was work. Working in paradise, but Brendo, we are licensed in 12 or 13 states.
12 or 13?
I have about 4.
You got more?
So, and then if you need it, you can tell me a couple weeks ahead of time, and I'll get the state for you. It's like that.
Yeah. That's
So-
fantastic.
So no, we're all over, and our parent company, Northwest Funding Group, is bigger than us. So we are just under them. Yeah, great thing.
Oh, why are you looking at me?
Oh, is that what? I was looking up here. I'm like, oh. When we're moving too fast, slow down, girl.
For a month. So we're
Yeah.
Would you like?
You describe yourself as a legacy crafter. Wow, I'm trying to wait to hear you go back. What does that mean in practical terms for someone who may feel overwhelmed by their finances or their long-term planning?
So exactly that is planning about something that is sustainable and realistic. A lot of people have high expectations or they believe that financial planning is about a big picture. It doesn't have to be anything big. It just has to be about being comfortable with what you're doing, making your means, and then leaving something to your family that is meaningful. You don't have to leave a whole bunch. A lot of people try to build wealth and usually, when they do one generation, the most that they will last is 2 to 3 generations, and someone blows all the money that they got. So it's all about like, how do I live comfortable? How do I meet my goals, but also leave something for my family that they're gonna remind me for. That I can probably help them alleviate some of the stress in the future, like one example is like with the life insurance, all the people like we are all going to die.
Yeah.
And
One out of one.
Whatever explain to them. Well, would you rather pay like $20 a month? And like you might actually like pay less when they get it, and they don't have to be. I tell them from my personal experience, it's a hard thing to do to figure out all the burial, all the
Yeah.
what is going on with your whole life crumbles for you.
Yeah.
Like you think it's gonna be easy, you think it's gonna be like, oh, I can just pay for the funeral and it's over. Is what about what happens next? Like, are you going to be able, if you have a mortgage, to stay in your house with your kids? Are you gonna have to move? And then if you do move, are your kids gonna be affected by that? Because sometimes you might have to move with your grandparents, your parents, whatever, and then you take those kids out of their own school, have to move them somewhere else. So now they not only lost their parent, one parent or someone in their family, now they got that transition like going somewhere else, like being detached from their friends, going somewhere else. So it's a lot of small pieces to the puzzle that people don't see. That's my job to put it to them and make it educational and be an eye opener rather than be like, this is why you need to have it. This is why everyone needs to. I just get it. No, this is the why. This might be why it's relatable to you. What is relatable to you might not be relatable to Lisa.
Yeah.
So it's just putting it into perspective to that person.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just a little follow up on that. Is legacy crafter, are you using that phrase because it really unpacks well in your culture? Or is it general for any human that you might?
So so just general, I don't even know. I think it was just uh, one day I was thinking of like a catchy name
Yeah.
or like, wow, my God, what might get people's attention if that I can get them. Like when I started my business, and I'm still a mutual Omaha advisors, Indian and advisor with them. Um, I started with them. I didn't know like how it all worked. That I was a 1099, a contractor because the whole military. I was always
Yeah.
used to being like that W-2. Like they tell me what to do, and I realized after a little bit, like, oh, I don't have to go by their name or whatever. They actually allow me to do my own business. So that's when I kind of like switched it and I did my own DBA, which is Bellona Financial Solutions, which kind of was a personal attachment to me, but also I wanted it to be more personal. Like Mutual Omaha is a big company, a lot of people know it, but I wanted the local community to have a place where they're like, I'm connected with someone local.
Yes.
They really don't care much about like the big names, especially being in a heavily Hispanic community that I work with. They're like, oh, great, but what is it that you work for? So I was like, what can I do to make Ali be known in my community
Yeah.
rather than just the big company, which my people, like I said, don't care about kind of thing. And that's where I started thinking. I was like, I need something catchy that is not only gonna catch my people legacy crafter, but also I do work with a lot of like bigger um, not the Hispanic community. So I wanted to be relatable to everyone.
Yeah.
So, Allie, you're deeply involved in community leadership and education. How does serving your community shape the way you approach financial guidance?
So I think it's just it builds that trust when they see you out in the community because you actually care about them, not just trying to go out there and showing up for the pictures so people can see like, oh, I'm here at this event or that kind of thing. Like they actually, I'm very personal. So like
Yes,
a lot
you
of time, I not trying to like catch everyone's business. There's a lot of times that people say, oh, I want to meet with you. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me know whenever. And I kind of leave it there. And then I'll meet them at another event and another event. And it might take, because especially with the Hispanic community and the local community here in Colorado Springs, you kind of need to build that trust.
We know this one.
I'll see someone and they talk to me like 10, 15 times, and then I'll get that call out of nowhere.
The long term.
And I that's how I got like one of my clients. Like I didn't even know the lady, but it was actually her daughter. I have met her daughter to the Hispanic chamber, and the lady was trying to. Her husband and her were trying to retire, put everything together, and she reached out to me, and I was like, "Do you?" I was like, I didn't know like where she got my info, whatever, but she was talking to me like she knew me. Yeah, like, big thing, like only like most of the people that are closer to me call me Ali. My business card is Adelmarie. Or in the website, and she called me Ali and she said like, oh, I know you do this and whatever, and you're in the chat. And I was like no. And then I was like, man, that's like, how did you get my info? She's like, oh, my daughter knows you. And I was like,
You did not.
so I didn't actually connect with our daughter for like over 6 months. Like if her daughter was pregnant at the time, I didn't even know. Like I hadn't seen her in months, but it was great to me that this lady called me from someone that I haven't seen in like 6, 8 months, and she's still like connected back to me. She's like, "Oh, mom, yes, you're looking for someone. Ali is the one that can help you." And I was like, it's great
Yeah.
just to,
Yeah.
to get that like personal connection because that's what it's all about. It's about like making them feel comfortable with you, so they actually tell you what their problems are
Yeah.
rather than just scratching the surface.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. Anthony, you work closely with veterans and first time buyers. So how does helping someone achieve ownership impact families beyond just the transaction?
Oh man, I'm friends with so many of my clients now. So many of my clients are friends. Like it's funny. At the beginning, it feels like you're trying so hard to so many people to touch. And now like that, like friends of mine are giving friends of theirs my information. So I have a lot of family in Oregon. I helped one of my realtor. He's a friend. He's a family friend. My mom's known them for over 10 years, and then they just started to do real estate. Now he's one of my best real estate agent partners. I helped his son buy a house.
Aw.
That meant so much more to me than a transaction. You know what I mean? His son's 20 years old. I'm like, you're a good kid. Yeah. You're a good kid. You're working so hard. Like, you have your own house now. Like, that's your name on there. You know what I mean? And so I was just so proud of him. You know what I mean? Like, so happy for him. And yeah, man, I have so many examples that I like. There's so many people that when we first start, oh, I got your number from this person. Oh, this person told me about you. They was really happy, and I'm like, cool. Like, how can I help you? Like, what are we gonna do? And so it's so much. There's definitely the transactions, but there's so many transactions that mean so much more. And on top of that, it's like I'm educating you, so I know when we finish, you know exactly what happened throughout the whole thing. And not just that, you're going to tell somebody, oh yeah, I know my rate, I know my deal, I know my payments, I know all of this stuff, and you will too. You know what I mean? Like, so it's more than a transaction. I want people to stop renting. You know what I mean? We rented for so long, and I can never imagine going back. Yeah, it's empowering these, especially younger clients. It's the education just gives them, you could just see it in their eyes, just changes them. So it matters to me.
We can tell. You're pretty impressive there, my friend.
Like, free. What's one small step they can take today to move closer to it?
Credit. I'm just like, you're reading these questions and it's like, boom. I feel credit. A lot of people are scared.
We did our due diligence.
Thank you.
So we saw all of you.
Yeah. The big one. People are scared of credit cards. To help with that. People are afraid to budget because they don't know how, they've never been taught. And so I find that, people that are, everybody goes through things. We are all human.
Yeah.
Unexpected things come up. You have to pay for things you can't pay for. When COVID happened, people got laid off. There's every day things are happening. And so a lot of people will kind of treat their credit like a skeleton in the closet and don't want to talk about it. Well, that's the first thing I'm going to do when I'm working with you. That's the first thing I'm going to do is pull your credit. So I'm going to know everything that's hiding in there. And it's with no judgment. It's like, hey, let me show you what's hurting you, and then let's get on a path to help you. Like whatever you want to do. Yeah, credit specialist. If we have to do a repair, or I'll teach you how to do it yourself. Don't spend money, but we can ignore it. Like fixing your credit, a lot of programs you don't need so much. Your FICO doesn't need to be so high these days, but it's going to hurt you in things like your rate or lower level pricing adjustments, things like that. So credit is a really easy one where, say you have a kid and a fixed credit card, or have them start a credit card and monitor them. I'm working with her son, and she's doing a great job. But it takes that. Don't be afraid of credit cards. This is America. It runs on credit. We need to teach you, no matter what year you are. I don't care how old you are. I've met people that are 40, 50 years old, don't have a credit card. Either way, it's going to help you. Credit and debts, know your debts, know what's going on. Just know, and then you can try.
You're aware. Yeah, absolutely. Allie, for families that are thinking about their future, but they're unsure where to start, what's one mindset shift that can help them begin building a legacy of confidence?
So is putting aside the rumors, putting aside all the videos that you see, like some of them are great, educational, but we relied a lot into like, oh, I saw this on TikTok, I saw this on YouTube or whatever. or relying on like, well, my brother did this and now he got so much, or my mom told me I should do this. Um, like I always tell people, your situation is different than everyone else's situation. Like you cannot compare. I don't have any siblings, but let's say I had a brother, I could not compare myself to my brother unless like I have exactly the same amount of debt, the same amount of kids, the same house, everything. So everyone's situation is different. One thing that you can do is always have a conversation, and the conversation is always straight. Like figure out where you're at and what are your goals. That's a good start. Like you don't even have to take any action at the time. You just have to have a clear vision of what can you afford to do. Like a little small change that you might walk away with doing on your life might make a big difference. And a lot of people don't realize that. It's about like let's have that conversation that is gonna open your eyes and show you like yes, I can do it. And a lot of people say, I can't, I can't. It's one thing that I hate is, yes, you can. Like, don't matter like how hard you think the world is falling apart. It's not the apocalypse. It's not like, yes, you can. Even if it's like one little thing at a time, you can change. That is going to make that difference in the world.
Like, yeah. When I was a gymnast back in the day as a little girl, my coach, if I said I can't,
Oh, yeah.
50 push-ups now, girl. Like, I mean, it was crazy. I learned very quickly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I absolutely love how Ali, first of all, you being in the military and coming out and transitioning and taking charge of your household is so commendable. And I'm sure you've encouraged a lot of people out there who may have had a similar circumstance. I mean, I know I personally had to deal with, transitioning out of a secure situation and hitting life in itself. So thank you for being brave, especially for the women out there. And I love that you tapped into something earlier about the Hispanic culture. And usually it's the woman who's in charge of the house and the man is take charge is kind of macho, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the whole thing. But you, like especially the women out there, I've got a lot of Hispanic friends who I love that you're tackling that and just you have a heart for them. They need you desperately. So thank you for serving them. And I forget what is the stat that Joe Aldes always says about the Hispanic population here in the Springs? It's like what? It's exploding.
Yeah, it's exploding nationwide. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? But here in Colorado Springs and Pueblo is like growing exponentially, and not you, Anthony, also.
You're the largest population in 2040 will be the largest population in Colorado.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Will be majority.
I know. Oh, yeah. And, nothing.
My takeaway from you guys today, here was something that I hope I already solved it, was that you identified market. That was so cool. I mean, you were like, yeah, veterans, young people, that's the marketplace. You deal very heavily in the Hispanic community as well. You love them. You are one. When what you basically your service, you get and total transparency going back on the board of directors with the Hispanic chamber here locally as well. Now that it's more reasonable, but
Make that with
correct. Yeah, but you identify the market because so many times entrepreneurs and people in this space they're chasing their own tails because they don't know who their market is.
Right.
And they don't know who they're serving.
Yeah.
And you guys have identified that clearly.
Oh, yeah.
You really do. You're branding well there. So we're thankful that we get a chance to help them brand the work that they're doing in the community today, Lisa.
Yeah. Allie, since you're our panel host, I'm going to start with you. So as you know, our whole vision is to hope and encouragement in the world. So I would like you to take a moment and look at my camera, let everyone know how to reach you for your services, and then I would like you to encourage the world.
Well, you can reach me at 719-722-6864. You can look up also Bellona Financial Solutions, or you can just look up my full name, Adelmarie Rivera, as a mutual Omaha advisor to reach me. One thing, like I said earlier, don't get down, don't lose your hopes. A lot of us go through a lot of things, and no matter what, there's always a way out. You just gotta figure out, find your resources. There's a lot of resources on the community. There's a lot of resources on the people that you know. So just reaching out, not being afraid of being judged. People are gonna judge, but if you don't take that step to become better and like take care of those things that are lingering, you're just waiting yourself down. So forget everyone else. Think about your things. Yeah, think about yourself for once. When it comes to taking care of the things that you need to take care of, and you'll see that everything else can go away, and you can make it out of whatever it is that you're going through.
Anthony, you're next.
Um,
Encourage the world, sir.
yeah. So easiest, I'm with Queens Capital Mortgage. My phone number, 719-337-3613. Queens Capital has a website, so qcmtg.com, or Facebook. We're all over the place. We sponsor everybody. We're always doing something. Just come and say hi. My hope for the world is that you can do it. You can do it. No matter what it is, you can do it. Buy your house, whatever your goals are, set goals and achieve them and hold yourself accountable for them, because nobody else is going to do it but you. My mom used to tell us to just get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Don't stay down. So be optimist. There's a lot of negative out there, but be the optimism that people need. Help people. Do the right thing.
Right.
Right. What a novel idea.
Well, thank you both.
And yet,
Amazing. So that's it for today's episode of Be Encouraged. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow our amazing conversations at beencouraged.net, and follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook.
wow, you got to memorize, don't you? Yeah, no, we would be remiss today if we didn't tell you that our book is releasing on February 5th. The Encouragement Revolution is coming your way. First book that Lisa and I co-authored together. And please
Come to the party.
Come to the party on February 5th. We're going to have more fun than 50 people should be allowed to have.
Yeah.
We're sponsored by Brandon Kurt from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, with his 3 children, are just incredible. I know them personally. We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years been married to, what is his wife's name? Gaba?
Gaba. And she's a beautiful artist. And yes, they have an amazing farm as well. But he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing. And we sure do appreciate him in town.
And one last thing, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So they really are
stronger than the vacuum of space.
Look up Planet Duck.
Lisa, as always, being able to talk to Anthony and Allie today has been a joy for us because we love our community. I love meeting people and getting the opportunity to amplify the work that they're doing in the end of the day. That's what the encourage show is all about.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, you know what, guys? We're real talk. We're real growth. We're real Colorado. Stay encouraged.
No, I didn't.